Well, all right, let's do it and let's get the ball moving. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you for introing yourself and saving space for yourself and for each other. I'll just sort of tour us on what to expect and then give us a run of show. My name is Vaughn. I go by Heru or Horace. I am a serial entrepreneur. So for the past 10 years or so, I have been working on my own, building my brand, making money, building funnels for sales, and building my communities and sharing this information. So I'll be sharing with you how to replicate these processes that I have mastered. I come from a corporate background. Prior to becoming an actual entrepreneur in brick and mortar, where I built startup businesses in entrepreneurial spaces in Silicon Alley. So this is like the tech space in Manhattan. And that was an achievement. So prior to that, I worked in corporate spaces, building human resources funnels. So people products helping corporate companies fulfill their employees with brown and indigenous folk as well as women in the tech spaces. So moving from there, I employed people with companies like Spotify, Bank of America, and I was a major sort of like niche worker in tech and diversity and inclusion. And then that moved me into learning entrepreneurship, empowering individual tech people, empowering individual humans with their funnels of understanding and access to these corporate companies. And then that moved me into actual building business for myself, replicating these streamlined ways of marketing, building products and services, putting yourself out there, and becoming the entrepreneur. So, what we're going to learn today is how to sort of like navigate yourself, navigate the trust wounds within oneself that may get in the way of making a sale or marketing yourself in a way that can make you accessible and visible. We're going to now then talk about unlocking and releasing any chakra blockages. So this looks like where our money goes. So when it's time to make money, what do we do with it? Money is a conduit, and so we want to be sure that it's flowing in and out and not just getting stuck in one of our chakra systems. And then on the other side of this lecture, we'll actually build business practices such as customer profiles, consumer personas, which would be like, what is your niche? And then who are the attached people that are associated with this niche? And then what are their sort of like imaginary identifiers? How old are they? What are their interests? And then how can we play towards their wants and needs, not towards their sort of like weaknesses? We'll be identifying at the end of this lecture a new world way of marketing, which is creating communities and creating associations rather than playing on people's weaknesses. This does empower a brand camaraderie and solidarity. And then finally, we'll close out our time with a guided meditation to sort of like integrate all the information that we've learned. And then we'll keep things communal. Does that sound fine and fair? Here are some affirmations for success. Affirmations to help shift us from vice to virtue. Cassandra, can you read number one for me?
Yes, I have faith in my actions and efforts.
Wonderful. Olivia, can you read number two for us?
Yes. Number two, I am patient in seeing my story unfold.
Lovely. And Verity, can you please read number three for us?
Sure. I see my need for peace as powerfully productive.
Incredible. Asteria, you want to give number four a shot?
Yes. I give myself time to grow and adjust. Thank you.
Amazing. And Robin, let's hear number five.
I am open to learning new things and new chapters of my life.
Beautiful. Welcome in. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. I'm grateful to be here.
What are some of your expectations from the class today? And what's your experience with sales or marketing as of now?
So I would like to kind of hone in on what it is that I have to offer. Like you have said, monetize your mind. Our value is found in our intangibles. So I'd like to be able to have kind of more of a focus, maybe away from products and more towards an offering.
Yes, yes. So we will learn that in our marketing. Hey there, Cassie. Hello, Cassandra. How are
Okay. Well, hello, girls. I am from New York. My experience in business and marketing has been like all over the place and extensive by myself for myself, and it was great. I also wrote a book in the process and published it, and it was great. And then I also had a podcast, and that took off, and it was like overwhelming to me because I didn't expect that. But I felt like I was performing for everyone else's needs and not my own. And so I was like, you know, I was in the church at the time, and in the church they say like you become all things to all men. And so I felt like that's what I was doing in business. Like I was trying to find the holes and the needs in the market, and then I was fulfilling that need. And even though it was successful, it wasn't fulfilling to me. So I hope that makes sense.
Of course it does. Just so everyone to know, one of the great parts about the sessions and the work that we do is the safety and the safe spaces that we share amongst each other and identifying like similar voices, similar goals, and then roadmaps on actually attaining these things. So, Cassandra, love that. Absolute love and respect. And so, for you guys to know, I will introduce myself on the other end of this and the things that I'm doing and how we can make these successes a solid plan. But I love how you're sharing with us your entrepreneurial sort of like identity as a star or as a brand. And I applaud that. I absolutely can understand how that's an easy thing to do. And to create products off of that brand is a natural new system or an actual new ecosystem that the digital community is opening up to. So thank you for sharing that. What would you say your goals are? So on the other side of unpacking and pivoting, what would you say you'd like to achieve next?
Like you've said it before in your lives, business and wealth is a direct result of your spirituality. Like it's very spiritual. And so as you go through the ups and downs in business, your spirituality has to be strong, your faith has to be strong. And I guess in everything that I do, I want my people to be able to see that and to be able to relate to that and to find their place within what I am bringing to the table. So I hope that makes sense.
It
But
absolutely does.
yeah, practical steps. I just need to build, I need to grow, I need to put myself out there.
It does. And from what I'm hearing, you'd like to maintain uh, business and business practices, but from a streamlined space. Um, where I come from, which is sort of like an entrepreneurial bootstrapping culture, it's called Scrum management or learning how to do things from its most baseline position. And so I will be teaching us in this workbook or in this course how to apply business terms to kind of like social media techniques or deconstructed entrepreneurial exercises. So I absolutely applaud you, Cassandra, and I can absolutely understand how this is a very not just encouraging business model, but plug and play and an easy thing to do once we get our spiritual or ideological conversations in front of us. Robin, hello. How are you?
Hi, everybody. I'm Robin. I'm in Detroit. I'm a little bit all over the place, but I'll give a little information about my background as well. I'm realizing as you guys are talking and listening, there's some parallels for what else I'm going to say. But as far as like with the spiritual journey, I'm trying really hard to work on learning what what my niche is gonna be, but not leaning into allowing myself to be a victim of like analysis paralysis. Still take action if that makes any sense. If we don't, even though I don't know exactly what it's gonna look like, but I want to gather as much information while learning and being more intentional about taking action, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. And I love how you're identifying your strengths as well as your goals. And that's all that really matters. And that's all that we want to work with, which is like our thought leadership and our hopes or wants to do with this information. And in this moment, we're going to just remove everything else from around there and provide us with the empowerment to move forward with what we've got. Love that, Robin. What would you say your experience has been with entrepreneurship, business building, product building, service building, or brand building?
Ultimately, I don't feel aligned with being in corporate anymore. And I maybe kind of manifested, or maybe God just kind of worked it out. Whatever it is divine order. I just got laid off, but I got a little package, but I'm not sad about it. So it's okay. But I think it's like divine order that I'm going through this journey at this time. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to hyperventilate. This is supposed to happen.
Thank you for sharing and thank you for holding space and holding audience to your manifestations. So I want y'all to know this is an important part of the work we do, maintaining community so that our hopes and goals and our dreams and plans aren't so impossible, but they are tangible, especially when it comes to what if these are our first communal customer profiles? What if this group of people are our first examples of our clients and whom we can market to? Hello, Olivia. Good to see you.
Hello, hello, hello. How are ya?
Doing well. How are you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good. I'm
Yes,
excited
yes.
to do this. I kind of was last minute, but I wanted to do it because I saw that you had it available.
I'm so happy you joined.
But I also have this side of me of spirituality, and I do tarot and oracle cards and Reiki. And I know that I'm like meant to be here. I'm a light worker, meant to help people, meant to work with others. But it's like, how do I do this? I have so many ideas. Which path do I take? But also, like, how could I combine it together? I was definitely still working on healing myself and things that I need to work through. Because I believe this in a way. You have to heal yourself before you can help others in ways. But also, I know that healing is a forever thing. Like we're always growing and becoming ourselves.
Wonderful. I love how you, in the moment, share your authenticity and wear it as a shield as well as a tool of offense, saying like, listen, this is what my authenticity looks like, and I am authentically expressing myself in the moment. That's very powerful and rare.
I have come pretty far with that, being able to be myself and feeling comfortable in my body and who I am. Because for a long time, you would some shadow parts of me blocking that. It's like, no, let that out. People need that light. And I like to think of myself as the light and showing others that they can do that. You know, if I can do it, they can do it. So thank
Yes,
you.
yes, yes. You're welcome. So I just want to be a mirror, but also like a round of applause and an honest voice, especially from an entrepreneurial standpoint in identifying our strengths as brand leaders or the things that immediately stand out to me as someone who's experiencing you. So this can be things that you can see within yourself as public speakers or as marketers or just in business people. And this is a communal experience. And so what we're doing is rebuilding your mind, okay? So just before we go into this, it will be a lot of information and some of it may be new information. So just know that I'm here to pause us and to repeat if necessary. But this is an absolute esoteric exercise in rebuilding channels for trust and energetic relationships. Alrighty, so here we go. That takeaway there. And this is going to be sort of like the baseline of what we'll be working on currently. When we don't identify the energy around the topic, we have a harder time controlling the manifestation of the topic. So, for instance, if we don't have an understanding of our relationship to anxiety, then we will have less of an impact on our relationship to manifestation. So keep in mind, we are repairing our relationship to money by first identifying trust wounds, and then we'll repair chakra imbalances. So, alchemizing anxiety. How you navigate your anxiety is how you make money. Can you imagine if we felt too anxious to show up today and we just didn't? How different timelines are shifted and changed just by showing up. When we acknowledge our systems of safety, we identify our opinions on money. So, do you feel safe in your pursuit of money? Asteria, do you feel safe in your pursuit of money?
This conversation's hella fucking intense, man. Um, because I'm going to start with what you said, peace is productive, right? And so if you come from areas of life where everyone, not, I feel like I'm dramatic, but people are attacking your peace, and then what you were saying about how money is trust and community, it's like that wound has specifically been fucking stabbed over and over and over and over again. But in this moment with you guys, I feel safe. I'm here. I showed up, like you said, creating new timelines. So I'm claiming that, yes, I do feel safe to fucking pursue my money.
In a sense, I think that is reclaiming your power and healing just on its own. So I don't know exactly what I'm saying, but these are all ideas that I'm having. So somehow, eventually, this will come together and these will be some sort of product or service. I'm just not exactly sure, besides Reiki, what it looks like. So just bear with me, y'all.
I'm going to ask you a question. You're saying that your overarching interest is a return to self. Can you share with me? And remember, we are all just doing exercises in whittling down marketing, the mission, the brand, the product. Can you share with me what took us away from self?
All of the wounds, probably the family wounds that I didn't know were there in childhood trauma. I think like maybe the catalyst was like my last relationship of like narcissistic abuse. Maybe I didn't even notice that I even had the wounds or that I was doing these things to me. I didn't even know that I was anxious, y'all. Like, I think I've just always been anxious. And because I always felt it, I didn't know that I was balanced. Not necessarily PCOS or endometriosis, but maybe it could be that if it got worse. But in my journey and learning more about that, I learned more about stress hormones and cortisol and things that it's doing. And in me trying to fix that, I found out, oh, I might be anxious and don't know it. So then I started taking some different supplements and figuring out how it works in the brain with cortisol. I haven't taken it today, if y'all haven't noticed. So now when I don't take that supplement, even though it's natural, now I do feel it. And they're like, oh, girl, you are anxious. You've just been like in a everlasting life of just anxiety and just running around saving everybody or trying to, but anxious while doing it.
My question was, what is your niche? And you said it's essentially a journey back to self. My follow-up was, what took us away from self? And you mentioned that it was the impacts or the results of narcissistic abuse that have landed or shown itself in the individual as anxiety.
Yeah, because once you have that happen and then it ends, you are now like completely by yourself. And then you're like, okay, this is not just about the relationship. Why did you even do that? Because now you're looking back. Why was I dealing with that? And then you have to hold yourself accountable. Okay, why did you do that so long? Have you done this before? So yeah,
Right.
that's where I'm at.
Yes. So this is your niche, and then there are so many products can come off of this because this is your space of thought leadership.
Okay.
And what I'm hearing is you have a lot to say on it too, as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Or a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I think that's why it's kind of overwhelming to me because I'm like, well, I have this, I have this, I have that, and then some stuff I'm still working on, so I can not be the wounded person trying to help somebody else, but I haven't completely already figured it out. Even though I know you said earlier, Olivia, and I've heard this before, healing never ends. But I wanted to get into a better place with some of that stuff before I'm like, I can help you, and I'm still like, oh, but I'm also still very sad from that.
How are you helping yourself?
Right now, this class, focusing on myself, um, paying more attention to myself. I'm actively, with the whole lack of support thing and not realizing it, I'm actively trying to be way more conscientious about stop signing up to help other people with their stuff. Even though I know I'm saying, yes, I want to be a healer. But like you said earlier, I cannot help anybody if I am still on fire.
So self-support is basically your first product test that you're doing with yourself.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm speaking about this out loud so that you can see that you are creating your first product within your business model which is the niche that we've identified as rehabilitating from trauma in accordance to generational curses and how they are found in the body. So on the other side of this exercise, Robin, you can package what you discover that has worked within you as a resource for others. So you can see how we are going to do the same thing that we're used to doing. The exercise is to not stop you, but to give you proper professional channels to do what you are doing already.
Yeah.
So we're going to close out soon. I would love to ask some final questions. Are there anything that I can help you with when it comes to translating the information that we just learned into next steps? I want to help and remind you that we spoke a lot about shifting trust wounds and recreating your identity into an entrepreneurial, wealth-oriented mindset with language. And we look at how correlating language either disempowers our identity or the lack of can sort of give us imposter syndrome. We spoke and we saw how Verity is already working in her niche and looking at expanding product tiers and product menus. We see how Robin is already addressing her clients and community and already building her first product. We see how Olivia is creating a niche environment by understanding her specific niche, holistic healthcare, beauty, voice, and who the client is. We just built consumer profiles by learning who we're talking to, by learning their interests. So I just want to help you understand, this is all business terms. We just built customer profiles by learning who you're speaking to and what their interests are. They are you. So when you look at marketing, you look at making a piece of content, you can know what to say.
I feel free to be myself because I've created that community for myself. But then when I step outside, if I meet someone on the street and they ask me, what do? I'm like, I give them the blanket statement I gave you, Haru. So I really appreciate that you pointed that out because I think, like you said, we're all there. Like we have an idea of what we want or we're embodying it, we're living it. We're just not seeing how, or we didn't see, I hope we see now. But we're seeing how we can apply it to business now and we can market ourselves versus marketing a company's product. We're marketing ourselves and our experiences and our identity and who we identify as to people that identify to our situations, just the same. But I'm inspired listening to all of you ladies. I really am. I'm walking away from this, not just with what Haru gave me for myself, but also what he's given you all and what you've all shared. So I'm glad to have been here today. Thank you.
We are now going to move into your guided meditation in unlocking money blockages. I ask that you take your consciousness into your forehead, release your eyebrows. Take your consciousness to your mouth and jaw and release any tension in your face. Take your consciousness to your shoulders and neck. Are you aware of any tension in your back? Take a deep breath. Let your arms fall safely. You are safe. You should be very proud of yourself for how you invest in your safety and how you discern safe spaces. Take your consciousness to your hands. Can you relax any tension in your hands? Take your consciousness to your belly. Is there any tension at your core? And can you release the tension? Take your consciousness to your knees and thighs. Are you noticing any pain? Take a deep breath and send the air all the way down to your feet. Release any tension in your toes. You are now safely grounded in your body and in the moment. I ask that you envision yourself seated in a brand new car. Can you feel your hands around the steering wheel? Can you envision the inside of this car? New leather, clean interior, shiny appliances. I ask that you see yourself inside of this car with a briefcase or a backpack or a purse next to you in the passenger seat. Inside of this briefcase are papers with your ideas on them, with your business plans, illustrations of a new book, illustrations of new products and services. I ask that you take a deep breath seated inside of this car. You've just come from a meeting, or you've just come from babysitting, or you've just come from some personal responsibility. You are allowed to be in this moment. You have no rush to be anywhere else. I ask that you grab that briefcase, backpack, or purse. Step outside the car, into the sunlight. Can you feel its warmth? Can you sense the shift in light changes? Close the door on the car. The car is parked at a beach or at a park. You choose, but I ask that you venture towards this natural space. But before we do, we're going to take off our shoes. As you take a first step onto nature, still holding your briefcase, can you feel the grass or the sand? Can you feel the wind and the warmth of the sun? I ask that you take a few steps and find a safe spot to sit. Find a patient, safe spot to relax. You are safe and you have no rush. I ask that you pick a spot underneath the shade of a tree or an umbrella. Set your briefcase down or your purse or backpack. Did you choose a side? Is it on your right or your left? I ask that you open the briefcase, open the backpack, and see the papers flying in the wind. Let them float away. You are allowed to have ideas and know that new ones will come. You are allowed to be the type of person that has autonomy over your creations. Let's dive deeper. We're now going to rehabilitate your chakras. I ask that you take a deep breath here and see a red orb at the root of your spine. The papers have flown away in the wind. You have abandoned any institutions that pressure you, and you are seated in your natural state, free. I ask that you empower that root chakra. Affirmations for your root chakra. You are allowed to ground yourself and safely address any anxieties as a new person. Affirmations for your root chakra. You have a new identity of peace, and you don't have to bully yourself for who you were, as you are somebody altogether new. Moving up towards your sacral node. The sacral node is orange. I ask that you brighten that orange color. It represents your creativity. Affirmations for your sacral node. You have many ideas. You are in the process of creating many products. You know a lot about your specific and subjective journey. You are allowed to create with the knowledge that you are already working with. Moving up towards your heart chakra. Next, we'll do the solar plexus. Your solar plexus are golden yellow. I ask that you brighten a golden color at your belly. Take a deep breath and see a golden light swirling at your core. Your pursuit of joy and happiness is your brand. Your pursuit of authenticity and transparency is your relationship to wealth and money building. When you show up as you are, people learn to trust you and your product. You are your product, and your pursuit of joy, your pursuit of visibility, empowers your product. Moving up towards the heart chakra. Your heart chakra is green. I ask that you brighten this green color. Affirmations for your heart. The things you love, other people want to learn from. People are excited to learn what you love and how you have succeeded. Affirmations for your heart chakra. You have valuable lessons in how you love yourself. You can create products and services based on how you learn to love yourself. Learning to love yourself has been your greatest pleasure and your greatest wisdom. Moving up towards the throat chakra. Your throat chakra is blue. I ask that you brighten this blue color. Affirmations for your voice. Your power and wealth, your identity and your strength is found in your voice. You have earned this voice. You've earned your right to speak up, to share, or to not. But you are now free in this space. The voice is a location, and it is okay for you to be at this location as you are. Moving up towards the pineal gland, you have become intuitively guided towards this next step. Who you are today is your most wealthiest, abundant version of yourself. You are allowed to be. You are allowed to create. You are allowed to expand as you are. And finally, your crown chakra. I ask that you see a bright light exploding from the top of your mind. I ask that you see a silver cord connecting from the top of your head into heaven. Affirmations for your crown chakra. You empower your sense of wealth when you allow yourself to be and become. Affirmations for your crown chakra. You are already wealthy, and you are already becoming. Affirmations for your crown chakra. You are a leader because you have led yourself out of trauma and into this moment. I ask that you take a deep breath here. And step into your new identity as an entrepreneur, which speaks about addressing your first client as you, identifying your first inspiration as your story, organizing your brand as your triumphs. As you slowly open your eyes, I ask that you see your current world as a safe space and as a vessel for your wealth and money making. I thank you, collective. I thank you for joining us in this class. What you're feeling at this time, I hope, is a sense of peace and groundedness when it comes to the multiple conversations in our minds as we simplify what is power, what is powerful about us, and defend what is current, as this is the runway and the roadmap to your new wealth. I thank you. Any last words? How are we feeling?
That was amazing. Thank you.
How does your mind feel? What are the mind spaces relating to?
I feel pretty relaxed.
I feel free, I guess, free to create, free to, I think that exercise of like releasing our ideas and it just floating out into the wind and knowing that we can always create new ideas and recreate whatever it is that we thought we had in mind. Like there was freedom in that for sure. And thank you. Thank you for being able to put into words what we are like working out at the same time. Like you're amazing at what you do, for sure.
Thank you. Any revelations during the exercise?
I've had so many revelations the whole way through. So thank you.
That's good. And as a meditative practitioner, I hope that it was also empowering for you and maybe like creative exercises and touring our clients through the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel a lot more open to create as well. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Mhm.
Any other final reflections?
It was so much fun. Thank you for I feel like for me, I feel overwhelmed to be surrounded by so many successful business people because I do not understand it. And so the way that you're able to put business concepts into spirituality and merge those two things so beautifully, so it helps, both types of thought processes to understand and kind of meet in the middle within ourselves is so beautiful. It's so magical. Um, yeah, thank you for finding us all there inside of the kind of astral spaces and grounding us.
So I'm like, I feel like my creativeness is sparking a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
especially
not
now that we
so,
know what we're talking to and the things that we
yes,
are thought leaders in.
not so limited. I can do it. We all can do it. We have it. We have the power.
We have the power. So, all right, come on, close me out with some energy. Olivia says, I can do it. We all can do it. We have the power. Y'all know how I like to do our cipher sessions at the end of my work. What are some other affirmations that you can share with us? We can be mic muted off. Affirmation time.
I am my triumphs.
I am my triumphs. Wonderful, wonderful. I can do it. We can all can do it. I am my triumphs. What do we hand?
I am free to share my story.
Question mark or exclamation point? I am free to share my story.
Exclamation point.
Yeah.
I'm free to share it, damn it.
I'm free to share, damn it. My products are my triumphs. I'm free to share my story. I'm safe. We can do it. I all can do it. Come on, Robin. Come on, Verity. Come on, hit me with
I'm
something.
free to be creative.
Free to be creative. Yes, yes.
My story is my wealth.
My story is my
Yes.
wealth.
Or my
I
story
love that.
not just my trauma, something like that.
One more time.
My story is my wealth, not just my trauma.
Love that.
Separating my story is my wealth, not just trauma. So I'm not just looking at life from
That's
a glass
beautiful.
half empty.
Might be a
Major
book
shift.
title, actually.
It could be a huh?
Book title, maybe.
Sounds
Write it
like we are
down.
halfway there to creating major products and wealth.
Yeah.
Alrighty, y'all. So I thank you very much. I do hope that this was impactful. I hope you got your money's worth. And I hope that you are feeling excited, but not just safely kept in community, but definitely empowered as a business person and entrepreneur. I'll have a follow up in SSE and I'll post what I can publicly on my YouTube. I thank y'all.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay,
Thank
bye
you,
bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.